I wanted to share something with you from Romans chapter 8. And this is an incredible passage. There's a lot of, I love the Bible. I love it, love it, love it. There's always great stuff in here. But if you have time, it's worth checking out the whole chapter. It's an incredible chapter that talks about hope in difficult times, having an understanding, a bigger perspective of what's going on. And I wish I could go through the whole thing with you. I don't have the time to do that right now. But I do want to, I want to just focus in on a few verses. And even for those few, I don't really have enough time to dive into all the richness of it. But I do want to share some things with you because of the timing. It's actually really interesting of what's going on in our culture, in our world, but also here, just me sharing from my family to yours what's going on. So, first of all, I'm going to just start in verse 18 of Romans chapter 8. And the church there was dealing with a lot of persecution, different types of challenges that we're dealing with right now, but definitely pain in the way that they experience it, suffering. And this is what it starts with in verse 18. I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. The creation waits in eager expectation for the sons of God to be revealed. Basically, what that's saying is that all creation, nature, everything that was created by God, it's actually waiting for the time that the children of God, sons and daughters, will be revealed. Sometimes we take a view of nature and other things and even us within the place of it and say, well, we're just all part of one ecosystem. We see the stars and all these other things, and we're just part of this creation. God doesn't say that. He says that all creation is waiting for the time to see who are going to be the children of God. We're sort of that focal point, that relationship between us and God. It is God. But our unique relationship with God, all creation is waiting for that. It's eagerly expecting that time. That's really special. And let's look, if we jump down to verse 22, how powerful that is. Paul says, we know that the whole creation, that's all of nature and everything, whole creation, the earth itself, has been groaning as in the pains of childbirth right up to the present time. Man, that's powerful. Now, if you've ever given birth or if you've been in a labor and delivery room, man, those groans of childbirth, those pains of childbirth, that's a real thing. Now, again, I'm speaking as a husband, as a father. I can't speak to it from a firsthand experience, but what I can tell you is that when I hear people in labor pain, man, that's not a fake thing there. That's a real thing. And if you've gone through it, then you can speak to it. And I can't really speak to it with authority, but this is an intense pain. I remember Christy, after our first child, she said just a day after, she said, why do people even want to have more than one baby? There's a lot of pain involved. But let me tell you, and she said it, sort of jokingly. And of course, now we have, hopefully in our arms, 6 little ones, which is an incredible blessing from God. Why would anybody have another one? Why, after pain like that? Intense, and what, by all accounts, what I hear, the worst pain that anyone can experience. Why would you subject yourself to that more than once? Well, here's the key. Because what that pain produces is something that makes that pain almost become an afterthought. It pales in comparison of having a child that you get to pour into, that relationship, which is amazing and overwhelming. And that relationship, that beautiful child, is worth the pain that you had to endure. And they actually talk about, again, not from my own firsthand experience, but the idea that mothers actually, in a sense, they almost forget the pain they went through. Not that they forget the detail, but the intensity of it in a lot of ways is forgotten. And that's why they're able to go back and do it again. Again, that's not my own understanding or speaking. But it's not because the pain is insignificant, by no means. It's because the reward is so great. Guys, what this is saying is that the reward that we will experience as children of God in that relationship, it far outweighs the pain and suffering that we are experiencing now. Because there is a great, great reward that is going to make this seem so temporary compared to what we will experience for the rest of eternity. Let's continue on. In verse 23, it says, not only so that we go through all this, it's almost like the creation is waiting as groaning in the pains of childbirth. But it says, not only so, but we ourselves us, not just creation, we have the first fruits of the Spirit. Who have the first fruits? We have the Holy Spirit in us. And so we haven't experienced the fullness of the Spirit. It's just the first fruits of the Spirit. We who have the first fruits of the Spirit, we groan inwardly as we wait eagerly for our adoption as sons, the redemption of our bodies. For in this hope, to be fully adopted and to experience the fullness of it, to have our bodies redeemed without the brokenness and creakiness and the soreness and all the problems that come with it and the disease and illness. For in this hope we were saved. But hope that is seen is no hope at all. Who hopes for what he already has? But if we hope for what we do not yet have, we wait for it patiently. Family, what this is saying is that we have an incredible hope in God. What is coming is so far greater than what we have experienced in all the pain. And it's what we will experience through Christ, through his Holy Spirit, to be fully adopted and understand the fullness of that, to have the fullness of the Holy Spirit, to have the redemption, to be made right in our bodies the way that we were supposed to be. It is going to make everything else pale in comparison. Guys, this is a great, great reward. And we do it with hope. We haven't fully seen it yet. That is what our hope is. But we do it patiently. Just like today, I've been waiting patiently. Christy has been waiting patiently. Well, why won't this baby come? We're waiting. But we wait patiently because that's what we can do. We cannot force the timing. We have to. We have to wait on God's timing. And in the same way, we say, God, we're going to wait for you. We're going to wait for your timing in how you do things. There is pain in this world. There is suffering. There is things that shouldn't be the way that they are. But God, we're going to wait with hope because we trust and we believe that there's going to be something far greater on the other side. Guys, I hope that is your experience as you go through this. There are difficult things. There are very painful things. In fact, some might say this is one of the worst things that we've experienced. Just like when you talk about pain, childbirth could be the worst. But there's something far greater that we will experience as people who are part of his family. I'm praying for that for you, that you are able to hope patiently and be a bright light. That's what I'm praying for my family and for all of us.